G'day folks, Tony again here for more Star Control 2. So here we are about to confront the Ilrath and try and trick them into thinking that we are Dogar and Kazon. They're two gods. Let's see how that works out. We're going to try and make our way into their home planet here. I'm assuming they're going to come chasing after us at some point soon. Surely, perhaps, maybe. Is anyone paying attention to us? It's a little hard to tell at this point. Oh, and there they all come, all in one great big rush. All of a sudden, just inside a zoom level, which is a giant pain in the ass, but that's fine. Let's have a chat with them. What can I believe my sensory cluster? I sense humans. I dance with joy for our good fortune. The human dies with such agony that it cannot help but please. Dogar and Kazon. Sure. What can we try to do here? Ilrath vessels, state the nature of your mission. Ha, puny human, you make me chitter with amusement. By the will of the mighty Dogar and Kazon, I am here to make you die. And then it's on. And it's getting pretty real. How can we go about this? Well, our particular Earthling vessels here are going to fire nuclear missiles that aren't going to help if the ship is cloaked. The Sparthi, similarly, aren't going to have a lot of luck. We might just go with the flagship, and if this turns into a giant mess, we can just reload. Because we're more or less right here, right in the thick of it. They're going to come in pretty quickly and try and flame us down. And we're just going to shoot them and get pushed into a planet. We've lost almost half of our crew already. So that's not particularly good. And I don't think that our homing our homing shots are helping very much when things are cloaked. My understanding is that I can still hit the ship even if it is cloaked. So maybe the approach here is not to get in too close too quickly, to try and keep a little bit of range. And maybe just do some enshooting. Oh, goodness me, I'm really not having a lot of luck there, am I? Try and keep shooting in the general vicinity of where I hope the ship will be. And maybe end up actually hitting it. At some point. Would be nice. Oh, are you kidding me? Hello. I see you. So we're down to 41 crew out of a starting set of 100, and we have a billion other Ilrath around here at this particular... Oh, hello. This particular part of the galaxy, so just trying to get into where we want to get to is... Whoa, look out! How did they accelerate so quickly? I'm calling bullshit on that one. But we didn't die. We in fact killed all of them. It's not going to get us that many resource units because the Ilrath vessels are not worth a lot. And we've lost a whole ton of people, and now we're just going to end up straight back in the same sort of shit show that we're in before. So I'm actually going to reload. Because that, as they say in the classics, was garbage. We're going to try a quick flyby. See if we can mess with them that way. Really not being terribly helpful. Okay, so we've got them all engaged there where they're finally actually chasing us. It seems to have activated most of them in the system, in fact. So now we'll try and... Oh, look at all of them. Goodness me. We'll try and use this to our advantage. Get them all coming over this way. And hopefully I'll be able to avoid them entirely, so that we can make it to the planet that we want to go to and do the bit of cunning shenanigans that we have planned. So let's do all this kiting, just like they're doing real outer space, and make our way back into the central planet. Good times. I'm going to turn ourselves around so we're facing the opposite direction from where all the other things are, kind of. And we're getting the proximity alert for the chat we're going to have with all of these things here. Now, I don't know if we're meant to do a direct conversation here or if we're meant to activate a device. I guess we'll find out by having this chat. What a pleasant surprise. Ever since the Ur-Quan made it a fallow slave species, we have missed the human. You arrived just in time for the Festival of 1,000 Screams. We welcome you with open appendages. Your participation in the ceremony is most fortuitous. As we pour your steaming parts from your breached husk, you will cry with the force that pleases the mighty deities Dogar and Kazon. Then we will address our inquiries and receive deific guidance. Glorious. Sure. Yeah, why not? Let's have a chat with them about their gods. Your gods fascinate us. Can you reveal their true nature? There is so much to tell, so many different aspects. These deities permeate the fabric of the universe. Since all things eventually succumb to death, all things meet Dogar and Kazon. Sure. When did you begin your devout ways? Human, you do not understand. It is as it has always been, when the hatchlings struggle from the egg sac. They show their respect to the twin gods of death during their first frenzied gorging. From that moment on, the directives and philosophies of Dogar and Kazon are manifested by the hatchling. Sure. I don't want to offend, but have any good God? No, okay. How do you pray, and how do Dogar and Kazon answer? The deific duo broadcast on Channel 44. Their words of wisdom are available to all, and the instructions are carried out to the best of our mortal ability. We know that we are pleasing the gods because they no longer find it necessary to guide us. In the past, the Dark Twins were compelled to direct us almost daily, but now we have received no direction for almost 8 years. Indeed, we diligently monitor the channel should Dogar and Kazon choose to be heard. Why do your gods broadcast on Channel 44? They do it for us. First, they clear the channel of messy static and interference. Second, it made it easy for us to properly identify what might be mistaken for mad rambling as the sacred words. You see, Dogar possesses 44 eyes that see into the 44 planes of existence, and each of Kazon's 44 subtongues is made up of 44 plump, writhing cilia. Besides, they knew we were Captain Satellite viewers. Sure. I don't want to offend, but do you have any good gods? During the Dark Ages, yes, we were confused by the many gods. There were dozens of deities, ranging from Zith of the Pelt to Orc of the Seds. It was only through the careful formation of a priestly ruling body that the Ilrath were able to determine the true gods Dogar and Kazon. This new priestly cabal revealed that we must discard all other gods, be they of hearth or flowing web. Only the priests were capable of interpreting the will of the gods. Their order refined our worship until we could do no better. Specifically, all heretics were to be eaten, and all possessions were to be delivered to the holy sites, or the priestly dwellings. Sure, I grow weary of Dogar and Kazon. Let's discuss something else. Your pitiful investigations have barely scratched the surface of what is to be learned about Dogar and Kazon. And remember, you may never get another chance to ask such questions. Sure. Sure, you Ilrath fascinate me. Tell me about yourselves. Yes, your interest is not unusual. It is through the omniscient guidance of our mighty lords of darkness that we have achieved this state of near perfection. We will dispel your ignorance concerning the first child species of the unmerciful Dogar and Kazon. Okay. Let's just run through these one at a time. Boy, you are the strangest looking critters. Yes, our striking appearance only hints at the true strength that resides inside. Coursing through our thorax are the fluids of life. Like ourselves, if we leak in excess, we will satiate the sacrificial needs of Dogar and Kazon. Our mandibles allow us to communicate, take sustenance, and deliver pain. The appendages you see here allow us to manipulate our technologies and will regenerate when damaged or lost, as often happens in many of the rituals of pain. Our sensory cluster lets us monitor the whim and will of the deadly duo in the complex sequence of events that leads us all to death. Interesting. Hey, what made the Ilrath what they are today? For eons, we lived appendage to mandible. Then, many millennia ago, we received the guidance of Dogar and Kazon. This enabled us to move beyond the simple existence of tranquil hunter-gatherers, to become world-striding avatars of death and destruction. Over the many years, we advanced our technology, always in the name of Dogar and Kazon. Always in the development of more sophisticated tools for murder. Then the gods gave us the means to go forth and commit even more glorious acts. This was 29 years ago when the Ur-Quan improved our starships and weapons. The war against your alliance was glorious. But alas, all good things come to an end. You lost. We honored the wishes of the soft and merciful Ur-Quan and stopped eating you humans. To continue our festive ceremonies of death, we began employing our native species for ceremony. Things seemed to be going well until we accidentally exhausted our supply of all these life forms. We became distraught and called to our gods for guidance. Then 8 years ago, Dogar and Kazon responded to our wails of dismay by directing us to devour feathered bird beings, the Pekunk. We now penetrate deeply into their home space. When we complete our mission of genocide, we are certain that we will once again hear from Dogar and Kazon. Sure. Tell me about your fascinating customs. Our culture is rich with meaningful tradition. During the birthright, the egg sac teems with many new potential deaths. The hatchlings fight over their first frothy draft of blood. In the ensuing frenzy, many hatchlings are consumed, either partially or in their entirety. A frequently performed ceremony of affirmation has the participant grinding away partial or even whole appendages. It is the pain that acknowledges the greatness of the twins of excruciation. How can they help but notice the scream caused by the mangled nervous tissue? Fun times. So what do you think of the Ur-Quan anyway? Simply put, the Ur-Quan are far too kind to please Dogar and Kazon. When your species was subdued, our gods made clear their desire for immediate deaths by the billion. We made plans for a grand ceremony to be called Mountains of Flesh. We built thousands of portable altars and transported millions of blood gowns and fillet knives to your world. But then the Ur-Quan commanded that you humans were to be left alive. The confusion, with our plans for a magnificent and most holy planetary slaughter forcibly terminated. We retreated to our homeworld to sulk. Oh dear. Do you really consider yourselves evil? Ha, evil. Of course we're evil. Dogar and Kazon would never reward a less than hideously evil species with their baleful grace. Why, we are the very definition of evil. Everything about us, within and without, reeks of heinous deeds, deceit, and treachery. Even our house pets are rather evil. Sure, let's get into some philosophy here, but evil is that which is morally bad or wrong. And if your actions are judged by your society as correct, aren't you, in fact, good? We are all evil. We all behave in a mutually agreed upon fashion of murder, torture, deceit, and so forth. Our uniform acceptance of this heinous credo creates an orderly and cooperative society, which hardly seems evil. Evil is doing things that make others hurt or fear. We all do that, of course, but since we all do such things as sanctioned by our culture, it would be bad to do otherwise, which means, puny human, do not play with words. You anger both Dogar and Kazon. Now you must die. Oh man, we got lost in the philosophical weeds, and they seem to be super mad at us. So now I believe we're going to be fighting just an infinite number of these ships. So we will be right back. Alrighty, so clearly the Ilrath not happy with our deep dive into the philosophy of their true nature. So maybe not a good idea for us to do this. Let's go and have a look at this device in here, because we have this Burvix caster. And if we use that, listen, it is the hideous and inspiring voices of our gods, Dogar and Kazon. O great gods of evil and darkness, what can your humble and devious servants do for you? Oh man, and we're in all caps. This is great. Heed these words, our evil children, leave this place, seek new prey. That sounds good to me. O mighty Dogar, O mighty Kazon, your devoted servants hear your words and obey your divine and cruel insights. The Pekunk are unfit for our sacramental tortures. We relish the prospect of killing worthy prey. We will leave immediately so that we can begin our glorious evil devotions. But who shall we prey upon next? Who will suffer our inspired torment? What was that loathsome, pitiful slave race near the Umgar region of space? Yes, I remember now. The Thradash. We will go now and kill all of them. Sure. Worship us. From the chambers of pain, we hear your words, cruel and evil lords of darkness. And as your voice crackles out of the speaker boxes, it sends thrills across our carapaces. Our hairy quills all stand erect, and we pant and wheeze with holy fervor. O mighty gods, you are the definition of all that is evil and hideous in this universe. You are the inspiration for all cruelty, deception, and pain. For this, we thank you. Sure. We return now to the fetid darkness. Obey our commands. Farewell, Dogar and Kazon. We are awed by your malevolent presence and swear unto you to commit even more vile and treacherous deeds tomorrow than we did today. So off they go. Presumably, they're going to be heading off to take care of those Stradash and leave the Pekunk, quote-unquote, alone, even though the Pekunk now are pretty much gone because they went over and got mixed up with the Yihut. So the Mycon slowly heading back in their previous direction. The Sparthi have disappeared completely. The Ilrath, it looks like we're just moving along a little bit there, but if the Ilrath are going to dust it up with the Thradash, who I believe are up this way, I think the Thradash actually possess something that we need to go and get from them once they're sort of mixing it up with the Ilrath. So where exactly is this Thradash space? I think it might have been up this way. I think we're looking for a Draconis system. Yes, it's up here somewhere, I think. Zeta Draconis. That rings a bell in terms of things that I have looked into previously. it looks like on the way up there we do have a large star here that we could trade with the Melnorm for. So maybe we'll go through this sort of Orionus section here on the way. Let's make a start on that and see what happens, and we can check in on the star map shortly and see whether the Ilrath are moving in this direction. Because they should be, because we tricked them by pretending to be their gods on the radio. Classic move. Alright, so all of those shenanigans there that we had speaking with the Ilrath, I guess we could have just circumvented all of that if we just used that device to begin with. But I guess it was kind of fun to get a little bit of insight into the Ilrath and how they tick. And just the sort of meaty, scenery-chewing, overly verbose style of the Ilrath is kind of a fun read anyway. All right, check the star map. Are the Ilrath moving? They are indeed. So that's a good sign. But let's continue on our merry way. There is a dot in hyperspace over in that direction, so presumably there are things here that are going to want to talk to us. Let's save the game first. That would be a wise choice. And then we'll go just poke our nose in and see who they are and what they might want. Because I don't believe we have blundered around this area of space before. So maybe there's something neat for us to discover. Hello, you're moving slowly. Who are you? You're something strange and new. Those are definitely unfamiliar looking ships. So let's have a chat. Converse. Oh boy. Hello, human, earthling. Har. Cool. Let's bring out the dank. I am Captain Clapton of the starship Dank. What is your response? We respond with appropriate awe and respect. Now go away. Sure. Talking pet is something that we've heard referenced before. Maybe we should ask about that. So how's that talking pet getting along? What talking pet? Do not understand reference. Sure, the Aralil told us they'd given it to you. They did, right? Human possesses forbidden knowledge. Uh-oh. No interference in plan can be tolerated. Human must be eliminated. Oh, touchy subject. So we're right in the thick of it now. Goodness me, I can't even remember what these Umgard do. Let's try shooting at them. Oh yeah, they've got that sort of disintegrating ray thing. Sure. Let's shoot them. Let's shoot them dead. And see where that gets us. I'm not even going to bother moving here. I think they can actually teleport in closer, but they also don't have a lot of hit points. So that was a fun old time. We've got a couple of enemy ships destroyed there, so clearly mentioning the talking pet, not a wise choice. With the Umgar, those little blobbies. Let's have a quick look at the star map. Maybe there's somewhere around here. Okay, Umgar space. We're roughly-ish in the middle of it. That seems like a vaguely central star that's nearby. Let's go and poke our nose into that system and see what we can see. Because those Ilrath sure are taking a while to move up to where we want them to. Okay, nothing immediately evident here, but perhaps there are going to be things here that we can find and harvest some goodies from, but that's going to have to wait for the next part of the Let's Play. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Please subscribe to the channel, and please also tell a friend if you think they might enjoy this. And come back again soon for more Star Control 2.